So do you want to be in the top 2% when it comes to email marketing? Watch these next 15 tips, do them consistently, and that's where you'll find yourself. Hi, I'm John, nice to meet you. If it's your first time here, welcome, and if you're coming back again, then thank you for coming back. I spend most of my time helping solopreneurs just like you generate an income in their business using effective email first marketing systems. So in this video, I'm going to show you 15 tips that if you use them and use them consistently in your business, you will find yourself generate an income from email marketing, and you'll in fact put yourself in the top 2% of people in your niche. So let's dive in. So tip number 1, make sure that your sending domain has been verified. So what does that mean? So it means the domain you use in order to send your emails out. So in my business, it's provenflows.com. If you get an email from me, it's john@provenflows.com. Now that domain needs to be verified using 3 different types of authentication. One is called SPF, one is called DKIM, and one is called DMARC. You don't need to know what they all stand for. In fact, you don't need to know anything about it really, other than it needs to be done. Whichever email marketing platform you're using, that will probably take care of it for you. For example, I use Kit, and in Kit that has a tool that you essentially tell Kit what domain you're going to use, and Kit will take care of the rest of it for you. It'll update your DNS records to insert the appropriate records, and that means you've got a verified sending domain. Okay, number 2, never buy an email list. As tempting as it may sound to, really grow your list at a pace, is something not to do. There's a number of reasons why you don't want to do that. The main one being the people on that list have no idea who you are. They didn't subscribe to your list. If you start sending them email, there's every chance they're going to start unsubscribing or complaining about you, that you're sending them spam. So it's just not a good idea. The other thing that most people don't realise is that if you buy an email list, there's a very good chance it can contain spam traps. Now, what a spam trap is, it's essentially an email address that's inserted into an email list knowingly by either companies that monitor the quality of email lists, like Spamhaus as an example, or in fact Google, Yahoo, Apple, those types of companies themselves, the ISPs. They'll intentionally insert a fictitious email address into these lists, so that if you buy the list and then subsequently start trying to send emails to it, they know right away that you've purchased a list that contains subscribers that didn't subscribe to your list. Okay, so just don't do it. Like I say, it's very tempting, but just avoid it. Don't buy an email list. Okay, number 3, never add subscribers to your list that haven't expressed their permission to be on that list. So what I mean by that is, no matter where you get them from, even if you're like a networking event and you collect cards, that does not give you the right to put those people onto your email subscriber list. You need people's express permission before you can add them to your list. Otherwise, you're asking for problems further down the line. Number 4, make it super easy for your subscribers to leave your list, to unsubscribe from your list. You may be tempted to try and keep people on your list by secreting the unsubscribe link or making it really tiny so they can hardly see it, or any of those tricks that some people try, but just don't do it. If someone's on your email list, they're there because they asked to be there, and you need to make it as easy, if not easier, to leave your email list as it was to join it. That way people feel safe when they join. They know exactly how to unsubscribe. It needs to be clearly marked inside every email you send them, so that when they click the link to unsubscribe, they just leave and you don't mark it to them anymore. Some people get upset when people unsubscribe from the list, but in truth, it's something that you should be welcoming and something you should embrace, because if someone removes themselves from your subscriber list, they've done you a favour in 2 ways. One, they've taken your subscriber count down, which means that you potentially might not be paying as much to your email platform provider as you were, because you usually pay by the volume of subscribers. And 2, most importantly, is that because chances are they may not have been an engaged subscriber, and if you have a list of unengaged or cold subscribers, that can negatively impact your email deliverability rate. So one of the most commonly asked questions that I hear is how often should I be sending emails to my list? So there's no right or wrong answer to that, other than make sure you're sending content regularly or consistently. So whether you decide you're going to send email every day or every week or every month, it's really up to you and your audience what they want. But whatever it is, make sure that you're doing it consistently and regularly, because if you are very sporadic in your content delivery, then people can sometimes become disengaged, or they don't really know what to expect from you, and resulting in potential unsubscribes. So, my recommendation is always start with something that you can continue, and then if you want to increase it at some point in the future, you can do that. But just start consistently with something you can manage, and don't miss out. Okay, so next one, make your subscribers feel welcomed when they join your email list. Too many people fall into the trap of collecting subscribers and then do nothing with them. Literally nothing. Like they'll download a potential a lead magnet, perhaps. They'll be confirmed as an email subscriber on the list, and then it's radio silence after that. They don't hear anything. Maybe for months, until the email marketer decides they want to try and sell something, and they'll send them something out. It's a recipe for unsubscribes and lack of engagement. So what you need to do is, when someone joins your list, make sure you send them an email and automate it inside your email marketing platform that lets the subscriber know that they're in the right place. That was, joining your list was a good thing to do. Share a little bit about what you do, what they can expect being part of your list, etc. And that'll greatly enhance your chances of keeping them as an engaged subscriber for a longer period of time. So make sure you welcome your subscribers. Okay, number 7, we're getting through them. Number 7 is make sure you fix the problem that your subscribers showed up with before you start trying to do anything else. So what I mean by that is, if someone joins my email list, downloading, let's say, the email marketer starter guide, so they don't know anything about email marketing and they just want to get started, then when they join my list, all I do is share helpful content with them for a period of time. That could be 6 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever that period of time I determine it to be reasonable. I'll share content with them that's going to help them get started with email marketing. So I'll drip feed them content that's helpful tips for people who don't know anything about it, and it helps them get to at least get to the basics of email marketing, get a system up and running where they can start collecting subscribers. If I was to try and start selling that, products or services to those people, or try to share advanced tips and techniques and stuff, it's just not going to work. It's going to fall on deaf ears. People are going to become disillusioned and maybe even overwhelmed. They'll end up unsubscribing. So whatever problem people show up with on your email list, make sure you're servicing that problem to completion. Make sure they've overcome that and they're ready to move on before you start to share other stuff with them. Okay, so number 8, adopt a double opt-in policy and use reCAPTCHA if necessary when collecting subscribers. So what do I mean by that? Well, when you're collecting subscribers on your email list and you're using an email marketing platform like Kit, the one I use, you've got a choice. You've got a choice to make based on how you want to collect those subscribers and mark them as confirmed on your list. The two options are single opt-in and double opt-in. Now, the pros and cons of each, I won't get into too much in depth at the moment, but if you're just getting started, the safest place to start is with a double opt-in. Now, what double opt-in means is that if someone joins your email list, let's say it's Kit, they'll submit their details to Kit. Kit will then send them what's known as an incentive or a confirmation email to say, did you ask to join this list? Was it you? Please click this button to confirm that you do want to be part of this list. That email then goes out to the person who joined your list. They click on the button inside the email to say, yes, it was me, please add me to your list. It's usually accompanied with a lead magnet, yes, please let me download the document, or view the video, or whatever that may be. And that's known as a double opt-in policy. Now, a single opt-in policy is different, and is that it's people just submit their details and that's it, they're marked as a confirmed subscriber. Now, if you haven't already, thought about what the downside to a single opt-in is. One of them is known as something that's called list bombing. Now what can happen is if you've got an opt-in form or landing page on the internet somewhere, you can be subjected to bot activity where automated bots will come in and they'll just insert a whole ton of email addresses into your system if they can, using this technique. Now what happens inside your email marketing platform if that bot activity happens is that with a single opt-in they'll automatically be marked as confirmed subscribers. However, with a double opt-in they won't be, they'll be marked as unconfirmed, and no emails will be attempted to be sent to these people until they become confirmed. The other thing is unconfirmed subscribers don't count towards your subscriber count, which is good. The other thing you can do, especially if you're using Kit, if you can introduce what's known as reCAPTCHA. Even if the name's not familiar, you've undoubtedly seen it before. It's, you know, those little pictures that says click all the squares that you see a traffic light or a bridge or a bicycle or something, and it's to deter the bot activity so that people need to interact to figure out which which squares have the relevant images in them. And the way reCAPTCHA works is that it sits on, let's say, your website page, and it won't pop up necessarily all the time, but what it does do is it detects unusual activity. So that could be repeated submissions of emails from the same IP address, which is very unusual because most people submit once and they have one IP address. Other things that can trigger it sometimes, and sometimes erroneously, is that if you're running, if you visit a website using an incognito page, then sometimes that can trigger the reCAPTCHA as well. So my advice is, if you're just getting started, you don't know an awful lot about email marketing or some of the advanced techniques, start with a double opt-in and keep your list nice and safe. Number 9, keep your list pristinely clean. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, when you have a list of subscribers, some of those subscribers will become unengaged, cold subscribers. Now, there's a couple of problems in there when that happens. One is you've got subscribers who don't engage with you, so you're ultimately paying for them to be on your list and they're not engaging. But the second problem, which is arguably the most important one to deal with, is that they could negatively impact your overall email deliverability rate. So let's take, for example, if you've got, let's say, 1,000 subscribers on your list and half of them are cold and unengaged, then every time you send out 1,000 emails, right away half of them are not being opened, and then you're left with just half of the people who could potentially open it. And what that does is, as an overall percentage of people who are opening, engaging, reading your emails and clicking on the links, etc., is significantly reduced. If you removed those cold, unengaged subscribers, that overall percentage will dramatically increase because you're now dealing with the people who are just only the people who are engaged with your content. So it's important to monitor people's engagement level on your list, and if you find them not being engaged, you get one job is to either re-engage them and get them back on to becoming a subscriber, or unsubscribe them from your list. There's ways you can automate that process. I do it using Kit. So I check every 90 days to check every subscriber every 90 days at least, to make sure that they're subscribed. If they're not, I put them into a sequence to say, I notice you're not opening my emails, and if they then ignore them too, then I just unsubscribe them from the list, and that makes sure that my list is kept pristinely clean and my engagement rates, my open rates and click-through rates, etc., are kept as high as possible. Number 10, allow your subscribers to self-select on the content you share with them. So if you're sharing different content to your subscriber list, you may be talking about various topics, maybe have different frequencies. Maybe you've got a weekly newsletter and you've maybe got a monthly blog or something that you share with them, whatever that may be. What you can do is you can configure your email marketing platform to have those different elements of your email marketing separated out, so that when people on your list, your subscribers, come to decide what they want and what they don't want, they can self-select. So you've seen it normally on the bottom of an email. It says update your preferences. something like that. They'll click on it and it gives them a number of options from which to choose. I don't want to see this one, but I do want that one. I don't want this one, I do want that one. So rather than the subscriber having the choice of stay on the list and get everything or unsubscribe, you're now giving them a more nuanced view of what they can and they don't need to have in their inbox if they choose not to. So allow your subscribers to self-select the content you share with them. So number 11, and this is a big one, this is an important one. This is one of the beautiful things about email marketing that you cannot do with social platforms. It's about personalizing the content you share with your subscribers. Now, by personalization, I don't just mean saying their first name. That's a given. Everybody should be getting email sent to them that's got at least their first name in the salutation. That's a given. What I'm talking about when I say personalization is give them content that's relevant to where they are in their business or their life, whatever it is they're trying to get help with from you. So for example, if in my business, if someone joins my email list and they tell me that they're not using Kit as an email marketer, but they may be using something different, let's say they're using MailerLite or ActiveCampaign or something, then I'll make sure I don't send them anything that's relevant to just Kit, because it's a waste of time. It's wasting their time, it's wasting my time, it's putting stuff in their inbox that's not any use to them. So I personalise the content where possible. Now, the only way to personalise is to collect information, what's known as zero-party data, from the subscribers. Ask them, what stage is your business at? What is it you want to do? What is it you struggle with? What do you refer to yourself as? Are you a solopreneur? Are you a freelancer? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a business owner? And when you start collecting information like that and then putting it into your system and then reusing it, repurposing that inside your content, then your content has a much more personal feel to it when they open up your emails and they start reading it. When you're using language that they normally refer to in everyday talk, then it's going to land much better than if you're using content or language that's not familiar to them. So where possible, try and collect information from your subscribers that's specific to them and that you can then repurpose and reuse inside your content. Okay, so number 12, and this is all about having a good ratio of value content versus sales or pitching content to your subscribers. If you grow an email list and all you do is continually pitch to the subscribers, they're eventually going to get tired of constantly being asked to buy stuff, to the point where they'll just unsubscribe. You'll find yourself with people joining and leaving within days of joining your list. So the way I work in my business is I send emails, and the ratio is less relevant than the notion of what the ratio is. The ratio that I use is at least 10 to 1. So for every 11 emails, I guess, that I send out, 10 will be just adding value. I'm just giving information away, trying to help people get from where they are to where they want to be, giving them helpful tips, techniques to use in their email marketing systems to attract the right people and to generate an income in their business. And then I would reckon, the one email in every 11 will be where I'm asking them for, would you like to buy this? Would you like to buy this particular product or service? Do you want to join me on my next training program? Do you want to buy my course that's just about to launch? I'll ask them something like that, but I don't do it constantly. It's few and far between, and it's probably only about 4 or 5 times a year on average. So when you work out, the average number of emails that are sent out to my subscribers versus how many times I ask them to buy something is very, very small in comparison. So my recommendation to you is find what works for you, but have a high, value ratio to sales or pitching content in your email marketing system. Okay, so the next couple are more tactical than strategic, but they're worth knowing. So when you're crafting your email content, there can be a temptation to use URL shorteners. So for example, things like bit.ly, bit.ly, where they'll take, bit.ly is a service where you can put in a long URL like that and it will condense it down to a very short URL, known as URL shorteners, which I guess the clue's in the name. But email marketing platform or ISPs more specifically don't like shorteners. Now one of the reasons they don't like shorteners is because people who are out to fool people out to, if they've got phishing going on or spamming, or they're trying to do something that's less than scrupulous, let's say, they'll use URL shorteners, and it's to obfuscate the actual URL that they're using. And the reason the ISPs don't like it is because they don't really know what sits behind that until obviously until it's clicked on. So avoid using the URL shorteners in your content. Just use the URL as is. But I'm going to share in the next tip how to use the URLs, so that you're also not falling into another trap. Okay, so nearly finished. Number 14. So following on from the last tip, number 14 is don't use raw URLs inside your emails. And there's a main reason for this. I'll explain in a moment. But essentially, when I say a raw URL, I mean typing in, if I was to type in my website address in an email, I would type provenflows.com, or I might choose www.provenflows.com, or I might even put in the whole address, like https:// etc. And then that would be a link inside the email. But ISPs don't like that, and the reason they don't like it is because it forms, or one of the reasons is it forms a perceived mismatch between where people think they're going to be taken to, and where they'll actually be taken to. So that URL, if I'm the content reader, if I'm the subscriber and I open it up and I see provenflows.com, I'll click on it thinking I'm taken straight to my website. But what actually happens in reality is that when someone clicks that link, it then sends a signal back to the email marketing platform. So in my case, it's Kit. It sends an email, it sends a message back to Kit to say, this subscriber has just clicked on this link, and it then registers that as a click. Okay, so that's how they're able to track click-through rates. After it's registered the click, it then redirects that subscriber to the place that they initially wanted to go to. In other words, my website. So based on that redirection process, the ISPs don't like it if you're presenting something that looks like a raw URL that people are going to be taken straight to, even though behind the scenes they're not taken directly there, they're taken to the email marketing platform and then to that. So best practice when you're creating emails is to use text links. So for example, you could say visit my website and then hyperlink that with the actual URL underneath you taken to your website, or put it below a button, put a button on your email and put it in there. However you want to do it, but essentially avoid using raw URLs so that you increase your chances of getting your emails delivered into your subscribers' inboxes. Okay, we made it. Number 15, well done for getting here. Thanks for sticking with me. So number 15 is about subject lines and pre-header text. Now, subject lines is more obvious. Everybody knows what a subject line is. It's what appears in your subscriber's inbox or email client. You can normally see the subject line. The subject line should be intriguing or interesting or appealing to the subscriber, but most of all it needs to be relevant to the content that's in your email. We've all seen it. We've seen these clickbait type subject lines that ISPs don't like. If there's a complete disconnect between your subject line and the content in your email, that could negatively impact your chance of getting your emails into your subscribers' inbox. So, whenever you're coming up with a subject line, of course you want to make it intriguing. You want people to click on it. So you might say, here are an example for this video. Here are the 15 tips that will put you in the top 2% of email marketers. Now that it's relevant because the content inside the email is going to tell you exactly what those 15 tips are. but it's also intriguing because it doesn't tell you what the tips are in the subject line. The other thing, the pre-header text, which most people don't use and aren't aware is there. Pre-header text is text that you can add to your emails that are getting sent to your subscribers. The text also appears in the subscribers' inbox when they look down the list of emails that have arrived. They'll see the subject line, and normally just below it they'll see the pre-header text. And think of the pre-header text as like a collaborator for the subject line. So the two of them should be hand in hand, helping get the subscriber to take the action of actually opening up your email and reading it. However, the difference with the pre-header is the pre-header does not appear anywhere inside the email once it's opened. So it's purely there for your email client list so that the subscriber can see the added information in there. So there you have it. That's my 15 tips that I encourage you to adopt and employ in your email first marketing system in your business. I promise you, if you do these things and you do them consistently, you'll easily be in the top 2% of email marketers in your niche, because if you take any cross section of 100 people on any social platform who are in your sector, in your niche, I can guarantee that 98 of them, of any 100, will not be doing what I've just described in the last 15 tips. Probably not at all, and certainly they're probably not doing it consistently over a long period of time in their email platform. So I hope you found that helpful. If you've got any questions or comments, please put them in below, and I'll be sure to answer them. So thanks again for watching this, and I hope to see you on the next video. Cheers.